how do you see yourself inspiring your daughters?
Yeah, I think it's like just like having like verbalizing dreams, like verbalizing, hey, I really want to do this, like, and then accomplishing that. I think that's a huge part of it, of like taking action, and maybe not even always accomplishing it. Maybe it's just taking that action of like, it's more than like, life is more than just like, I want to like build a company and whatever, sit on the beach. I think it's just like, all right, why do you want to build a company? Or like, what are these certain steps? Or, where do we want to go? But, how do we want to give back? Like, how do we want to align ourselves with charity? Things like that. So, I think just being able to like, and it's so much like in a company, right? You want to have a vision, and you want to be able to articulate that vision. And I think if you can do that with your kids, as too, for your family, I think that'll show that like, hey, look, we're inspired, we're driven people. Like, you should do the same thing.
Yeah, I wrote that down for sure. Verbalizing your dreams and accomplishing them, letting your kids see that. My wife and I write down these goals and we go through these things, but if my kids aren't exposed to why it is or what we built behind it, and I think that's going to help be an example for them. So I'm definitely going to take that back and work on that so they could see, because I'm always talking to Adam, especially because he's the oldest, on what his outcomes are for, whether it's a golf match, whether it's for school, whether it's for, a trip that we're going, whatever it is, like, what is it that you want out of these so that we could chase it down. But I think I do a poor job of showing that to him on what I'm doing. I think he just sees the monotonous day that daddy has sitting behind his computer all day and not really understanding what that actually means. But
yeah, I think it makes it cool too, to like we're big on like celebrating wins, and like, instead of like, all right, we celebrate a win, and it's just like, oh, like if they can understand why it's a win, I think that's a really great step.
I am terrible at celebrating my wins, so I'm going to write that down as well, just to remind myself. Terrible at celebrating my wins. Like, for me, it's like yep, moving on. Thanks, got it done. Now on to the next thing. And I'm horrendous at celebrating my wins.
Yeah, but I'm funny. My wife is way better at it than I am, and I'm grateful for her for like. She's like, we have to celebrate this. Like, we have to even just like, let's go get dinner, right? And then it's just little things. And I think that's great because I'm all like you, like, all right, what's next? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, it does make you kind of like really do enjoy it a lot more.
And I think it gives you that drive for it. And somebody was telling me that you should not only, like, if you have your goal, then what do you get if you accomplish it? Because it's, again, like that is a version of celebrating it, and write down what it is that you're actually going to get when you, like, maybe it's a week-long trip with your wife, maybe it's a whatever, right? But if you have a goal and you set it and you accomplish it, celebrate it in a way that's meaningful and establish what that is when you're setting the goal. And I think that's I need to do that. So
the only thing that comes to mind is airplanes on that. That's set a goal big enough so that you can afford a nice airplane by the results. Right? Yeah. Sounds good to me.
I told that to Raquel. I've been trying to figure out what airplane I want to have on my bucket list airplane. And bucket list airplane is a kind of a relative thing, right? Because it depends on how big my bucket is on where I want to go. But I look at majority of my missions and what I want to do, and I think a PC-12 would be awesome to have. A Pilatus PC-12 would be a really nice one to be able to just float around, because you could cover pretty much the whole country with that and not have it really an issue. So.
Yeah, those are beautiful.
Yeah, that they are. But so, what thing
I'll tell you I'm thinking Vision Jet for me. I'm not sure though, but yeah, they seem they seem pretty cool. So,
and are you staying with 2 kids, or are you guys planning on more kids, or
to be determined? Determined still.
Yeah, because that changes kind of what aircraft you're looking at, and it's that really, like, adding the third kid to the equation changes your thought process a lot on what planes I'm going to be looking at. So,
yeah,
I don't know. Time will tell. But what things would you like to discuss about being a dad, about entrepreneurship, that we haven't hit a topic on yet? Is there anything that was like, man, I really hope we talk about this today?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to kind of hear more. I guess, like, what are some of your, we kind of talked about kind of things that you're kind of running away from, but like what keeps you up at night, with your family, or do you sleep like, you sleep really well, but like, is there anything in particular that you're more worried about, or you're more fearful about, and, kind of how you're overcoming that?
Okay. I think that kind of thus far has gone in stages, right? Which I think is kind of normal anyways, right? So when I was still in the military, we had 2 kids when I left the military, and now we have 3. But when I was still in, it was like, well, yeah, where am I going to get sent next? What's going to be happening? Am I prepared to I thank God was not married or had kids with the majority of my deployments, like Iraq and Afghanistan, those types of things. But it was always like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like I got sent to Thailand for a few months, so I had to say goodbye to my kiddo for a few months, and it was not the easiest thing to do. So like that always kept me up. Like, where am I going to go next that I'm going to be away from my family? Which I don't have that as much now. Now it's more like, this is all on my shoulders. I don't get a steady paycheck every 2 weeks anymore, like the military gave me. And it's like, okay, well, now it's like, am I setting the businesses up well enough to make sure that I'm leaving a legacy? Because that was one thing that my wife and I wrote down, that I added to our thing, that I want a legacy for our family. Not like, it doesn't have to be like a legacy wealth type of thing, but a legacy meaning like the name Adam Labar means something in my family, that things changed here, and that it's going to continue trending downwards to the kids. So that kind of knowing that I'm setting stuff in place now to make sure that is possible later is something that kind of, I want to say, keeps me up, but is one of my top concerns. Like, am I making the right decisions in my businesses? Am I making the right decisions with the partners that I have? Am I making the right decisions with whatever that is actually pushing towards those goals? So
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I definitely kind of agree with you. I think for me, it's probably more business centered than anything. Just making sure that it's like things are growing, things are moving in the right direction. Like thinking that making sure I'm hiring the right people.
Yeah.
Because it directly correlates to, it's really the amount of time I'm going to spend with them, right?
Yeah.
Because if I'm not hiring the people, then I'm probably more in the business and less, more stressed out and all that kind of stuff. So I think that definitely is probably what keeps me up more than anything else.
Do you guys do EOS at all?
We try. We're working on it. I mean, parts of it, I think we're like, we do level 10 meetings. We're working on our scorecard. That's hard. Scorecards are hard. And org charts, or what, accountability charts, kind of vision stuff. But we're kind of slowly implementing. We're probably about maybe a year into it, but it's definitely helped.
If you want to get on a call after, I could go through, some things that we did to help with our scorecards on our side of the house on the business, just kind of help work through some of that. But
cool.
I'm happy to jump on and chat a little bit about where we were. We hired an implementer to come in and do all the meetings with us and go through all the processes, and that really helped. It's not cheap, but it really helped to make sure that we're implementing it. And the reason I asked is, you were talking about hiring the right people, and when you have those core values and you're hiring and firing based off your core values, and knowing whether somebody is, a plus minus, or a minus in these core values, like really helps kind of clarify, no, this is not the right person, and they don't get it, want it, or have the capacity. The GWC and the core values that you have to go through with each person in the EOS stuff. That has been really a huge game changer for us, and clarity on are people in the right seat, and are we moving? Like, we could have somebody that's the best worker in the world, but if I have them in the wrong seat, then it doesn't, like, I'm wasting their talent. So, making sure that they GWC it and whatnot. So I'm right with you on that one, and completely understanding, because that makes a huge difference in even your stress level of looking at the company. Like, okay, no, I know that I have the right people in the right seat. So the thing can move forward, and I don't have to be there every single second, chasing things or fixing things or doing whatever. So
it's I know it's pretty cool seeing, like, I didn't know that you were with, working with EOS and stuff. So I'm definitely going to hit you up on that. But it's, everybody says good things about it. I haven't really talked to one person who said, like, don't do it. Nobody's ever said that. At least I haven't heard it. It's fun trying to figure out, just attracting the right people.
For sure. Yeah. And once you have the right people, though, it makes a huge difference. So, but yeah, anything I can do to help, let me know. I mean, I am not an implementer at all, but I have gone through a lot of meetings with them, and we've built a lot of scorecards across different things. So I'd be happy to kind of chat about it and let you know
Cool.
what we're looking at.